My name is KJ-52, or you can call me Jonah. That's the name of my new album, so I'm trying to be a little more a little more personal, but yeah, Christian hip-hop artist, been rocking this for a while. I started independent, and now here I am back to doing it again, but the music industry is obviously in a totally different space now. I think the best way I compare it to is that if someone walks up to you and says, hey man, well, what do I call you? My answer has always been for all these years, you can call me KJ or you can call me Jonah. It's kind of like saying that however you want to connect to me is fine with me. I'm not a stickler for that. But I think obviously there's a little more personal revealing when you say, but this is my real name. So that really was all it was. I think, yes, the songwriting came out of some really tough times, but yeah, there's some songs in there that are very blatantly honest of where I'm at. But I think I've always kind of wrote like that, but being that I was able to do it this way just reinvigorated my creative process. My parents met at art college, so I was doomed from the beginning. They met at Pratt, which is in Brooklyn, New York City, and I grew up in a studio. My dad's studio was in the front, he did tile painting, I lived in the back with him. It's kind of one of those things where no matter what your parents do, you kind of tend to blow it off. I did want to be a cartoonist at one point, but to me I equated art with poverty, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna have money. I think hip hop did recontextualize what art could be. So when I'd take trips with them to New York, or I would take trips up north, you just see the trains going by and these just phenomenal kaleidoscope of colors and styles, and you're just like, how did that happen? And I get bored in class and I start writing my name. And that's the basis of graffiti art in that aspect. It's about letters. To be honest with you, I had a terrible 2 years, and I got nostalgic for when I used to mess around with it. I just realized that the church had changed their attitude on it, the world had changed their attitude on it, and so all these opportunities were open. And the reality is paint, whether you spray it or paint it or draw it, it's just paint. But I also realized there's a power in a visual, and I thought about where it says that the hand of God wrote on the wall, and it said, Meeny, Many, Tekel, Parson. It was Daniel's job to reinterpret that. And I thought, I can use hip hop and graffiti art to create an image that I can reinterpret for people. And for this point, obviously trying to do it for the glory of God.
Let's be real, so often we miss who Christ is because we're just not paying attention, right? It's so obvious that we can miss it. And yet if we would just change our perspective, we can see him very clearly, amen?
At the lowest of the low, I was definitely contemplating quitting. And what he showed me was that out of your worst can sometimes come new things. I remember this youth pastor gave me a book, it was called Do-Over. And he was basically saying how you gotta learn how to do a do-over sometimes. And it's funny, because had I not hit that rock bottom, I never would have messed with graffiti art again. Had I not hit that rock bottom, I never would have started doing public schools. Had I not hit that rock bottom, probably some of the songs that I've written now, I wouldn't have forced myself to take a step of faith with, crowdfunding. Had I not done all those things, had I not had such a great financial need, I probably would have been more complacent and probably a little more lazy. But those things shove you out of your comfort zone. And so I'm very grateful. And it increases my faith to know that God came through, and I'm just now seeing my way out of it. And literally, so many things that I prayed for are now becoming a reality that it's just tremendous.